straight into the drama then. No worries.
Human and
Fantastic.
orc heritage armor, and the people are angry. Okay, it's really fine.
Yeah, it's
I'm kind of overplaying it for the camera. But yes, the human and orc heritage armor is one of the new features in patch 10.0.7, which will probably come out in like, I don't know, a month and a half, something like that, maybe 2 months. I suppose less than 77 days on average per the maths that we did. Now, these two screenshots have been met with a degree of criticism from people. Things such as, why do orcs always have to be grunts? Why can they not wear the skin of a wolf? And why is black now grey? Because of, that thing where that's not black, that's grey. People may be wanting a little bit deeper black so they can have like more contrast in their armor. So that's one thing that's been said. And the other thing that's been said is one or two of these things are a little bit ill-fitting, and it's very Stormwind, right? It's very Stormwind, and that's what I want to get into. But there is some good news here. There's going to be variations of these. So that's where I think Blizzard, I wonder if they thought, okay, we will do these and we will bait the people, right? We'll make Porter Gage really angry in Twitter, and Groxy, yeah, we'll make him really angry, and then we'll harvest their soul energy, and then we'll drop the variants.
Fantastic.
Maybe that's the plan.
Seems to have worked so far, at least.
Yeah. So well done, Blizz. Your plan's going well. All of the soul fuel that you can suck out of Twitter, the better. So yeah, they did kind of respond to things, just saying, for a bit of context, there will be more. People are basically just saying, decent but not unique enough. Like, we've had Footman style armor a few times. I will say, I do quite like this. I like the whole, flowing robish thing. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that is nice. But
there's thoughts here.
Yeah.
So. And this actually kind of goes to our green lighting meeting, where we all propose ideas, and then some of them get a green light, and some of them get killed. But one of our things was about like, hey, can we make humans cool again? It's basically our MAGA video. let's get the humans and make them cool in WoW, because the whole thing is Stormwind is like generic ass humans, but then Warcraft 2 happens. And they decide to do like the 7 kingdoms and all of that. So really, with this, it's like, it's not Stormwind heritage armor. It should be human heritage armor. So, to be honest, I do kind of want an Arthur set and a, maybe a Kultiran recolor, Stromguard sort of thing, Lordaeron set, right? I mean, hey, look at that big Lordaeron shield that everyone has. Well, okay, there's the Lordaeron shield that dropped from the funny lads.
The Dreadlords.
The Dreadlords, yes. The funny
How do you figure out the Dreadlords are called?
Got me again. But remember that one you got from the Culling of Stratholme? The, default... It was weird. It's like
the red and white one, was it? Or?
Yeah, the one where your shield has 2 swords on it that you never use. So if you're like a Fury Warrior, you could be walking around with 4 two-handers. Fantastic. Anyway, yes, so... I do want to see what Blizzard's going to do. At the very least, I like the shoulders. I actually like loads of elements of this armor, so that's really cool. Even if it was just recolors and then, maybe changing 1 or 2 of the little elements to have a flair of the other kingdoms. Yeah, but I think something like that would be cool.
For context, that looks way better than the actual one.
Oh yeah, fucking hell!
Did you realize did you forget you were looking at the?
Never mind.
The edited one?
I take it all back. You've got me. Nightsad? Nate Sade? You know what?
You're in full boomer mode today.
It's fine. I will hide behind dyslexia. Haha. Yes. Once I said... That's it. Yeah. No, that's it. I wrote honk honk instead of Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah.
I remember looking back at a script, and it was weird because I was looking at the 2 words, and I know these are wrong, but I can't see how they're misspelled. Then the penny dropped. Okay, so this is awesome. This recolor is awesome. You know what? This is good, but I think the recolor shows moments for opportunity.
Yes, it is. That's the thing. I have so many minor issues with it. I just don't particularly like it. Because they've been a little bit I'd say they've been very happy with putting their 3D like ornaments and stuff like that on, and you can tell it looks really cool with the shoulder. It's very nicely modeled, but there is a little bit of like because I've seen people complain about this as well. It looks like the mail and the plate elements are like way too grafted on instead of meshed in with the leather elements on it. So it looks a little bit like you have this.
Yeah, the chest is flat.
Yeah, you just have this big lumpy stuff sitting on top. So it looks like the silhouette's kind of all over the place in a way. It looks a little bit like you've got a leather armor set and then you've just said, I'll just grab some random plate bits and fire them on top.
When I said
they look all right
the chest
middle,
is flat, I was referring to 3D elements, and I was very stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about how the isn't it the Drakthir armor is like a proper 3D chest plate thing that they've got.
Yeah,
it's in their character customization.
Yeah, it's that. There's also just honestly, the helmet is way too long and silly looking.
I have just noticed how fucking minuscule her head is.
Yeah.
Look at this big fucking chin.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Maybe that's because of what they have to do for other head sizes or something. Because I've noticed that with a lot of armor sets, they have really long pointy chins for some reason. It doesn't really look particularly good. There's some parts are good, and like the detail and the embellishment is good, but generally it just doesn't look like a great piece of armor.
It's them trying to take the Warcraft footman.
Yeah,
but it works. You know the way that like males in Warcraft are kind of like they're more ape-like compared to us, and they're super long arms, and like just like their sort of musculature and stuff. But it doesn't really translate over. Okay, so the human female in WoW, like just kind of looks like a normal woman, but like the human man in Warcraft is like a pretty different proportion to a standard human man.
Supermarine, as I said,
yeah. So it's like it doesn't really scale that well.
Yeah, I also think the other issue I have that, and this is a little bit more of I would like to see more. It's just that I don't know if humans have any identity with this, because this is just Alliance, this is just Stormwind, this is just there's blue and gold and some silver. There's just you're wearing this and you're walking around fucking holding Anduin's cape behind him as he walks about, which some people might like, but it's a little bit more, where's any actual human culture? And maybe the quest line does a good job of explaining like where it is or whatever else, but it is still just like it's nice, but it's not fantastic. And I don't look at it and go, oh yeah, that's what humans are supposed to look like. I look at it and go, oh yeah, it looks like a decent version of say the Primal Storm set. It looks like a decent version of that with a little bit more effort and a little bit more 3D applied to it. Which is like, for humans, I would like to see humans have something special as opposed to their kind of, what are you? Oh yeah, you're an Alliance thing?
Do you know what I want?
What?
Stromguard IRA. As in, I want a little bit of texture in the humans, right?
Yeah.
They're right now they're all just very, ooh, we're humans, we love Anduin. My job is I am. You know the way like Snoop Dogg has he has a joint roller.
Yeah.
It's like Anduin has a tear wiper.
Yeah.
Just like on his staff, who's always with him to like wipe his tears whenever he gets sad and meditates on his many traumas. And that's all fine and good, but I would like a bit more edge. I'd like there to be human characters that say the end of Mists of Pandaria that actually do want to just go kill people. Or, just something to inject the Alliance with a bit of oomph, right? Because we're so fucking boring. Like, okay, the dwarves, they get, they got to have some fun, right? With, all of the sort of misgivings between all the different dwarves. Gnomes are gnomes. Night elves, a bunch of them are pissed. I want to see stuff happen.
A bunch of them are terrorists.
Yes.
Working for the Primalists. Yeah.
So I want more of that. But like, not in this NPC has totally faction flipped. As in like, I want Night Elf culture to brush up against it. And I don't want it to happen in a way where it's like, oh, Taronda's lost the run of herself again. Oh no. She's angry and she's put on her eyeshadow. Shit. Which is the rather, I mean, I will say just a bit tropey feeling sometimes thing that Blizzard likes to likes to do. Basically, can we have there be texture within the humans that doesn't involve either Taronda or Jaina getting a makeover and becoming really angry?
Yeah.
Because I think if they pull that one again, people will turn around and say, "Hello, Blizzard, please. Why do you keep on putting them through the same character arc again and again and again?"
Yeah.
I want, the whole true heir to Lordaeron thing that was going on with the Brotherhood of the lads. What are they called? Scarlet Brotherhood. And they set that up in BFA, and it's not really went anywhere since. I want to see more of that. Like, what if they decide, hey, Kingdom of Arathor, we're gonna have it back? What if they want to secede? Right?
Yeah.
What if, what if they don't want to be under the yoke of Stormwind, because there's no king of Lordaeron or anything. That's just the Forsaken. But what if, now that Stromgarde, of course, has been captured, what if they decide, you know what, fuck you, you Stormwind pricks. We want to have our own culture. Yeah, look at our original leader, man. Big fucking Conan the Barbarian ass man. We want him, not you and your silly little blonde.
Yeah, there's so much history there with the humans. They could do that. It's like, as European says, humans need a Grim Totem. And I think the Grim Totems are largely underdeveloped and underdone. Even with Kurog being like a nice Grim statement there. Or Grim or Kurog being part of it, and that kind of not been
Upper Razageth.
Yeah, Upper Razageth. So I think that's interesting. But your opponent also pointed out that and I think there's something I'm thinking about a lot too, is we should have got Vrykul armor as our heritage, because that's human heritage. And I think that would even be the beginning of a human heritage that's different and goes, hey, humans are more than just Stormwind. Humans are more than, the clans ended up being humans. What do you go back? What happens when you go back into the actual past of humans? What happens? You see, where did humans come from? Because dwarves know that well. Okay, some dwarves know that with like the origin of the earthen and the trogs and stuff. And then gnomes obviously have stuff. Everyone else is like, their origin has been dealt with, but the humans have never had that actually lived through. So I think characters will do that in a fun way.
What if a bunch of Northern Irish World of Warcraft YouTubers were working at some form of video on this very topic right now? And what if I was going to record it over the weekend? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah,
exactly. It's stuff that we've been thinking about, and it's an opportunity for, I think, what people go, oh, just the blandest fantasy people. But then you look at how many people play humans, and it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot, and they deserve something a bit more interesting, I think.
Yeah, like, the whole thing about humans being boring, it's like, okay, I can get how you could say that. But one of the things I think that is useful for having humans in a fantasy setting is it's us dropped into a fantasy setting. And as we know from the real world, we're a pack of dickheads, and we there's a lot of texture, a lot of politics, a lot of skullduggery. I think the more that is done, instead of having these weird like Walt Disney castle humans, WoW's always best when it's not Walt Disney castle humans. Snag Prophet said, Bellular Warcraft, our Grim Totem is Defias and Scarlet. Yes, and one of the things that I really liked back, in the older days, is back in the days where dragons were few and far between and everything was scary. Just over that river in Duskwood, there was a wolf that would like 3-shot you and you'd be terrified. And the Defias are like, you get this profound feeling that Stormwind is a kingdom stretched too thin, potentially in, decline. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that maybe kind of helped people enjoy the human setting, right? There was enough struggle in it. Whereas I think now, like, the Alliance is this humongous geopolitical power block. They're at times like they're more defined by humans than any of their other constituent races. I mean, I'm not saying that I want some sort of political thriller in every expansion, but I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, it's like you can throw enough of those subplots in that it actually feels like it's worth going through. Even if it's a case of, listen, we have to mount an assault on X, but there is a blocker to it. And even if it's a couple quests of just, hey, this supply line has been held up by human rebels, and it's going to stop us from able to mount this assault on the Dragon Isles for whenever we're going to fight Ridicron. Okay, we're going to need you to go to Westfall, find the leader, and what we did back in the day, when we just sent you lads in to kill the shit out of Van Cleef, and then, his daughter went mad, so we just did this exact same place and killed her in the same place. It's fine, she's not dead. But the whole, like, we don't do that anymore. We're a little bit more, we're a little bit less militant. And even under, like, Trallian, it's maybe Trallian's chilled down a bit. We go, okay, try to strike up a deal because we know we've done them wrong. We know we've done them wrong. We know how war happens to people. We know how things go. Sit with them at the negotiating table for like a couple of lines of dialogue. Then we'll just resume our normal business of supply lines restored. We go fight Ridicron, etc. And that's all it takes. I think all it takes is like that plot line to be happening and have updates every now and again for people to go, oh, there's actually like there's repercussions that we have to sort, and then that makes players feel like valued enough. Even if you're not going to solve it, even if you're there like acting as a bodyguard for some like I guess some noble or someone who's doing the negotiating. Or if Trallian sends, here, there's an SI7 delegate. You know, if you tag along with them, they'll sort things out. Then when they've sorted things out, they'll join you at the Dragonauts. Something like that. A little bit of like quid pro quo with one of the organizations would help the whole like ecosystem of the Alliance feel more alive. And it wouldn't take very long, I don't think.
The Akachi. I think heritage armor being Stormwind is fine. As the Dwarven armor was pretty much Ironforge, inspired humans' original start to Stormwind, I see no issue reinforcing that identity. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. Yeah. I would say, well, okay, number one, the Dwarf Heritage Armor and the Iron, the Dark Iron Dwarf Heritage Armor, like, it's incredible. Especially, like, if you are, you know, it's one of the things that I imagine if we got the Guillermo del Toro Hobbit movies, like maybe what his original vision was, that is almost what I imagine with the Ironforge Dwarf Heritage set. So yeah, I agree. It's beautiful. I would say, like, yeah, fair enough. I would like to see opportunities to expand that. I suppose one thing that Blizzard did, and this is maybe their challenge, right? Blizzard did a pretty good job with the addition, or sorry, with the changing of the character customization options for the dwarves, because you can make a Wildhammer dwarf now. And I guess that's kind of interesting, because with the humans, I mean, apparently Kultirans are just really big. You know, there's no body type differentiation. Mm-hmm. But then with like the way that humans are done, there's like there's no difference. Or, you know, there's no like defining characteristic like
armor and stuff.
Yeah. So it kind of means that they're not. Yeah, all humans are Stormwind humans that, you know, appear in Northshire Abbey, but they haven't really found a way of somebody being a human from Alterac, a human from Lordaeron, and those would be really, really, really strong character fantasies that I think they should probably find a way to support.
Yeah, because the way you set that up is just by going like, hey, here's a set of haircuts that are inspired by this tribe of people. Here's what they look like. You know, here's a book. Here's a couple of concept art illustrations on the website of. Here we sat down and we figured out what do these like clans of humans look like. This. Just something that people get to just click on the menu and go, yep, in my head canon, my guy is like this now. Because that's all they really need to do. It's just a little bit of that, I think.
Grant Johnson, super us $2, thank you, and said, I want Paladin, Human, and Orc Shaman Heritage Armor. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Loads of people, they want a wolf pelt. And really what that makes me think, though, is we should maybe instead think about class orders.
Yeah.
You know, can we actually... I mean, as an example, they put NPCs into the order halls based on some of the new stuff that they've opened up in this patch, didn't they? I forget what the NPC was, but like a trainer NPC or something to reflect that...
Done a rogue. Yeah. High Mountain Torn rogue, I think, and they fired a normal rogue out for it, I think.
Yeah, so something like that, if they've done that, that clearly indicates... Because like the High Mountain Torn weren't an allied race at the start of, you know, that expansion. So to me, that clearly indicates Blizzard thinks that these order halls still exist. Now, if they still exist, I think we should have some content around them. And if you wanted to start having, you know, class sets that hit different fantasies or class content, remember, like, people have been clamoring for more class quests since, like, the beginning, essentially. So I think that there's a lot of potential with that. Yeah, a lot indeed. Dark Lord Soren, thank you. What pains me is the Warfront armor is basically looking better to me than the Heritage armor ended up looking like.
That's their problem. They
those sets were pretty cool.
Yeah, they literally made the Heritage armor, but didn't call it Heritage armor. And then they're like, well, now we need to make Heritage armor. Shit, what do we do?
Yeah, they might actually have a challenge making it feel different, especially even remember the orc and funny again, the orc and human armor from Warlords of Draenor.
Yep.
Right, in WoD you could basically get a Stormwind Guard outfit. So that's certainly that's certainly tricky for them.